All right, we are back with another pick'em video. Going to be going on my favorite plays for the NBA and the MLB today because MLB is back. All 15 teams are playing, so there's going to be a ton of value on the board. There already is. There's a ton of great plays out there, and I'm going to bring you guys four MLB plays and then tack on one NBA play for you. As there's only two NBA games tomorrow. So, yeah, really focusing on MLB. I wish I could bring you guys some college sports with March Madness kind of picking back up tomorrow, but I can't bet on college sports in my state. So, yeah, going to be focused on MLB and then obviously that one NBA play for you. But if you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. We rip out daily content like this each and every day. Obviously, you can tell we're not just an NBA channel. We do all different types of sports. We're year round. Whatever the next sport is, we attack. And I'll definitely be focusing on the NBA. Definitely my most knowledgeable sport too. I got to learn, some of these MLB players' names. I know the basis of the game. I follow very, very vaguely the MLB, and I know how to attack value still. But you might hear me botch some last names and things like that. But we're gonna learn. I'm gonna be planning to watch a whole bunch of baseball this year. Really excited about like the new rules. I was watching a decent amount last year, much quicker. If you haven't watched the MLB in a while, the game just goes quicker. The pitch clock, even the ghost runner thing in extra innings. I'm not a big fan of that, but the game is definitely sped up, and MLB is pretty fun to watch again. Kind of like when I was back in 12 or fourth grade or whatever, 12 years old, watching baseball all the time. So kind of a longer intro, but yeah, subscribe if you're new, like the video. If this video gets to 150 likes, I'll be giving away a free month of the Discord. Another awesome day in the Discord. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But real quick, we go over video picks each and every day. I don't brush over my wins. Obviously, I'm not going to brush over my losses here. And weird day because two guys got rebooted and DNP'd. So Nurkic ended up not playing. Rashawn Holmes and leaving at halftime with like a toe injury. So he was kind of on track to at least get close to his line. But two of the picks just don't count. And then Anthony Edwards was a huge miss, probably a bad read by me. I know someone commented about that dislocated finger and him shooting poorly since that's happened. And kind of been the case. He didn't really even shoot that much. Only shot 11 times in the game. But yeah, he was abysmal. 9 points today. Bad read by me. But Dorian Finney-Smith was my favorite play of the day. He crushed that line. And yeah, we had again a great day in the Discord. So 1-1 in the video picks ended up being. But yeah, we'll definitely bounce back from that and attack the board. All right, so the first play I want to talk about is going to be Kristaps Porzingis here. We'll knock out the NBA play real quick. 18.5 points and assists. This one, the hit rate's incredible. The matchups against Atlanta, who's coming off a overtime game last night or tonight, whatever you want to call it. So they should be, not well rested. Whereas Boston hasn't played in 3 days. So Porzingis should have, nice new legs. I think everyone's available for Boston. But yeah, they should be able to beat up on this Atlanta team, a team that just came back from down 30 against them. So they're going to be hungry and want to win this one. But I got his outlier page pulled up right here. This is Outlier. You can check this out for a free week if you want to. The link's in the description. Just let them know that I sent you there if you hit my link. So I really do appreciate that. But you're going to see the value of it. Again, this is for NBA. We're going to be using it for MLB as well. It's got all the different kinds of sports, tons of information. If you do this, every day or like to dabble in sports betting or player props, highly recommend checking this out. But 9 of the last 10 games, he's gone over this. Some of these games absolutely crushing this. Do want to point out on March 25th, that was that last game against Atlanta, and he crept over there. But again, weird game. Boston goes up 30 and then ends up blowing that lead. So weird one there. 9 of the last 10 games, you can't really beat that. 90% of the last 20 games as well. So 18 of the last 20 games. Again, some of these games absolutely crushing this. The 2 games he missed are very, very close in here. In this game, they won by 50. In this game was against the Bulls. I guess you just missed it. But yeah, incredible hit rate. If you want to back up again, 2023 as a whole, 72% hit rate, 36 of 50 games. You want to take into account that they're 17.5-point favorites. Again, potentially some guys sitting here, maybe DeJounte Murray. I think he was a game time decision going into the game tonight or yesterday. I don't know how to, it's like 2 a.m. right now. So they played tonight, yesterday. I don't know how to say that, but they played earlier. But yeah, 72% hit rate there. Again, one of these guys might sit. If you go to games that they've won, 71% hit rate. If you go to games that they've won in general, 71% hit rate. If they win by 17 or whatever, that's what I was showing before. 71% hit rate right here. They give up a ton of points. They give up a ton of assists. You get the head-to-head matchup right here. They played each other twice. Absolutely lit them up back in February. Again, we talked about the one where he crept over right here. So obviously the hit rate is ridiculous. The matchup's awesome here for us as well. But we go to odds as well. It's not just about hit rate. It's not just about the matchup. those things definitely go into my decision making. But it's a lot about the odds as well. Where does the market have its value? Are we attacking good value on Prize Picks? This is DG Fantasy. Highly recommend checking this out as well. You can get 25% off your first month using my code in the description. Again, another way to support the channel. You'll also get a free month of the Discord if you want to sign up and use that. So kind of a win-win there. But yeah, Porzingis right here, we see his points and rebounds also favored on the under or on the over if you want to look at that. But I like the points and assists. The hit rate just ridiculous. 52.19% chance to hit. Why is that? Why is it giving us a better than 50% chance? Because DraftKings has this at minus 125. BetMGM has this at minus 125, minus 137 on Caesars. So if you were to take this line over on these other sports books, they'd pay you out less if you took the over rather than the under because they're favoring it to go over. They think it's probably going to go over this line. Yeah, so odds are looking good. And then the last data point we like to go to is going to be the projection model. I already got them typed in here. This is RotoWire. Check it out for 2 days free. Don't even have to put your credit card in. It shows us a bunch of different information, but my favorite info coming from this site is the projection model. And again, points and assists, they're loving this one. 21.12 is what they're kind of predicting here on an 18.5 line. Again, all we need is 19, and everything looking really good from the hit rate, matchup, odds, and the projection model. So Porzingis is going to be our NBA play of the day. And yeah, really, really liking this one. And now that we know the tools and everything that we're using, we'll go a little bit quicker here. But yeah, jumping over to the MLB tab, you got to start with this guy. Start off the season right. Go to Shohei Ohtani, making his Dodgers Stadium debut. Obviously, they played in South Korea already. They were one of the two teams to already play. But I'm going to go to his total bases. I think you could choose between his total bases and his fantasy score here. But I'm just going to go to his total bases. Again, the MLB would love this guy to come hit a home run for us to start his Dodgers career. And yes, he's got some stuff going on with his interpreter and, sports betting and weird stuff going on. But I think he's innocent. He seems innocent enough to me. But yeah, I'm thinking Ohtani starts off the year right and gets over this 1.5 total bases. But it's going to stay the same. We do with the NBA. We go to our hit rates. We go to our matchups. We go to our our odds and our projection model. It's the same for MLB here. So I got his outlier page pulled up. And if you think outlier shows a lot of stats for the NBA, you're going to be surprised how much it can show for the MLB with batting averages and K percentages and all this different types of things. But I got him right here. Here's his hit rate for all of last year, 55% hit rate of going over this. So I do like to see that. He's also going up against Miles Michaelis, who's a right-handed pitcher right here, where we get to see his matchup and all these different things. So I want to go to games that he's facing righties to start off. Does get a little bit better, 58% hit rate. So another data point in the right direction here. And then going down here over here again, we can see Shohei, his normal batting average is 304, which is obviously amazing. But versus right-handed pitchers, this is actually boost up all the way to 327. So that's a pretty big jump in terms of an MLB batting average just from going to right-handed to left-handed. So he does get a big boost here going up against a righty in Michaelis. And we can also see on the flip side of that, Michaelis, the batting average for him when he goes up against left-handed batters is a little tiny bit worse as well. So both of these are working in our favor here. You could go look at his pitch arsenal, and if Ohtani does better in certain what do they call these heat maps and things like that, you could go really deep into these, but that would take forever. But Shohei, pretty solid matchup here. We get to see the batting averages, versus specific pitchers. We get to see batting averages versus right-handed pitchers and things like that. So we got Michaelis right here. We can see Ohtani is all the way down to the bottom. Looks like he's faced this guy 3 times. He's batted .667 against him, so probably 2 hits there. And he even has an RBI against him. A lot of green in this lineup, too. I know Freeman with 11 at-bats batting .455, and he's homered off him twice with something catching my eye. But the odds weren't, in his favor. And if we go to right-handed pitchers here, we see Freeman does get a tiny bit worse. I don't actually know what his normal batting average is, but obviously we already talked about Ohtani getting a decent boost against righties. So not only is the storyline going into this, first game at Dodger Stadium, new team, kind of the signing of the offseason, huge deal, biggest deal in MLB history, all going in our favor. But, I love the matchup here as well, going up against Michaelis. And again, it's not hit rate, it's not just matchups. It's not just all those things. We want to look at as many data points as we can. The odds are right here. We got Shohei. Hits, runs, and RBIs is all the way up at 2.5. That means you're a really good player if your hits, runs, and RBIs line is sitting at 2.5. But again, we're going to his total bases, slightly favored on the over to go 51.83% chance to go over. Why is that? Pinnacle's got this at minus 125, pretty much minus 125 across the board. So again, they're favoring this line to go over. I do want to point out that fantasy score line because something I was looking into, and he's done it pretty well in the past. So fantasy score is something to look at as well. But then jumping over to the RotoWire projection model as our last data point, we see the total bases is projected on the over. They're projecting 2.24. So again, all he needs is 2 for us, and everything pointing the right direction here for Shohei. So yeah, that's going to be our first play for the MLB, and really liking Shohei to start the year off hot. And then staying in the same game here, actually going to be pretty correlated in the next play here, but I'm just going to go right to Michaelis here at 5.5 hits allowed and go on the over. So I pulled up his outlier page. Again, 5.5 hits allowed. We can see it's a 66% hit rate all of 2023. So gone over this in 23 of 35 games. And what's really catching my eye here is the beginning of last year. He came out really slow, let up 10 hits, 9 hits, 10 hits, 7 hits in his first 4 starts. So maybe a guy maybe doesn't take the offseason as strictly as he should and comes into the season not prepared as much as he should be. And it's going up against a Dodgers team that has a ton of great bats. Obviously, one of the better teams in the league, probably the betting favorites to win the whole thing. And, between, Will Smith, 268, Freddie Freeman at 330, you got Mookie Betts down here at 309. We already talked about Shohei at 327. You see a lot of green in this lineup, 2 right-handed pitchers specifically getting a little bit boosted. But even with Freddie, 330 batting average. He's due for at least, probably a hit in here for the game. So looking really good, really liking the beginning of last year here where he came out and did not play his best ball to start the year. Hopefully, he mimics that and he's going up against a tough offense here in the Dodgers. So really liking Michaelis. Again, it adds up with that Shohei line. If Shohei goes out and gets 2 hits against him, that's 2 hits against Michaelis and also our 2 bases for Shohei. So that's a nice correlated slip. But the odds are also loving this one. 53.4% chance to go over. Pinnacle's got this at -134, -135 at DraftKings, -140 at BetMGM. So they're really, really liking this line to go over. And then same thing with the projection model over here. They're projecting 5.83, so closer to that 6 mark than the 5 mark, much closer for us. So again, just needs 6 for us. But if history repeats itself and he comes out this bad to start the year, we're looking really good on this one. So those are 2 MLB plays. They correlate pretty well. Again, if Shohei goes out and gets 2 singles, he's going to hit his line, and that's also going to be 2 hits against Miles Michaelis. So yeah, we'll continue going here. We got 2 more MLB plays to talk about, but I want to quickly talk about the Discord. If you're interested in sports betting, player props, DFS, sports in general, I highly recommend jumping over the Discord, checking us out at least. It's $20 a month, or you can get in here for free, but it's just a good community where, you're just with a bunch of like-minded people. We talk sports, and it doesn't matter if it's NBA. We were just talking about MLB pretty consistently here for the past, hour right before I went to film this video. But yeah, it's a bunch of good people. There's about 300 people in the premium section. Again, $20 a month, not that much money if you think about it in terms of $20 of entertainment for the month. But also, we're up over 125 units in the month of March. I actually just looked. So we don't win every day, but the wins definitely have been outweighing the losses. Have not had a losing month since I started this Discord back in, I think, January or maybe even December. So yeah, we've been having a lot of fun. Would love to have you. You can get in here for free by using any of my codes or links to my partners. Not going to spend talking too much time on them, but they're going to have discounts for MLB. I guarantee it. For Underdog, I know Sleeper already has one out for Glasgow, his strikeouts. So check out these different DFS platforms. If you're only on one, check out, branch out a little bit, take advantage of the promos, take advantage of the deposit matches. But again, helps me out. So if you use my code, DM me, say, hey, use your code, and I'll get you in for a free month. You can get up to 6 months free if you use my code for PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Dabble, or DG Fantasy. So yeah, check us out. That's the Discord, and we'll jump right back into the plays here. All right, but back to the plays. We're going to go to Yordan Alvarez at 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Love going to these lines just because you can do it in a plethora of different ways. You might hit a sac fly to get the RBI in. Maybe you get walked and get the run in. You can get a whole bunch of different ways to get these different stats. In 1.5 for Yordan Alvarez, he's been crushing this. So going over to his outlier page, got him pulled up, 61% hit rate for 2023 as a whole. Love to see that. And just unlike Michaelis, we were looking at a second ago, he came out of the year hot. So he was doing his offseason training as he should be, and absolutely crushed it to begin the year. 4 straight games of going way over this line, potentially some home runs in there. yeah, RBIs, hits, those are probably home runs. So hopefully he can come out and do that for us. So great hit rate for 2023. We love to see that. Obviously, the plate appearances is going to get around 4. But we also want to go over to the matchup here against Nestor Cortez. He's the guy that's always doing that weird stuff in the mound with his legs and gets a lot of guys with that. But Alvarez has a great, history against him. 6 at bats, 333 batting average. He has a home run on this guy, 3 RBIs. And again, we only need 2 hits, RBIs, runs, whatever it might be. And again, he can get that in a plethora of different ways. So love the matchup here against Cortez, against left-handed pitchers. If we want to look at that, Alvarez is a little bit better than his normal batting average, batting 295. We can see that because it is green. I don't know why it's not showing the matchup here down where it was showing it before, but we can see he's better against left-handed pitchers, and we see the matchup here recently or since 2018 against Cortez, 333 batting average. So love to see that. But another one where the hit rate is on our side here. Nothing too crazy, but 51.19% chance to hit is what they're telling us. Minus 120 across the board. Minus 130, I guess, on Bovada. So definitely favorite to go over here. And then our data point over on the projection model, also liking this one. These are for season long, so don't pay too much attention about that. But this is for tomorrow's game. They're expecting 2.17 hits, runs, and RBIs for us. Again, very much closer to 2 than 1. So loving everything pointing in the right direction for Alvarez. A guy I went to a lot last year at the end of last year when I actually started this YouTube channel. We were doing MLB, so definitely a guy that I've gone to a lot. So like an Alvarez going against the Yankees tomorrow or today. Later. It's 2 a.m. It keeps being weird. I get confused. And then our fourth and final play is going to be Pablo Lopez here at 15.5 pitching outs. Love the matchup against the Royals, who are one of the worst teams in the league last year. And we can see Pablo Lopez over on his outlier page for 2023 as a whole, went over in 82% of games last year, 28 of 34 starts. So love to see that. Then we jump over to the matchup against Lopez for this Royals team. And they don't hit very well against them. Whenever you see red, that means that the batting average is worse than their normal batting average. And we can see pretty much the entire team is red against Lopez here. They get K'd up a ton. Their strikeout percentage is way up, 50%, 40% for 2 of these guys, 50% over here. So he pitches extremely well against this lineup, and he pitched against them 3 times. He had 3 starts against them last year, 16 pitching outs in that first one, 18 in the second one, and then went all 9 innings in the most recent matchup against these guys back in July of last year. So he's gonna be able to do it in a decent amount of a bunch of different ways. The Royals don't bat very well against right-handed pitchers in general. Looks like they're 19th in batting average, so kind of bottom third of the league in general. But this one's looking really, really good. He kind of just mowed all these guys down in all 3 of the matchups they played last year. So hopefully he can get there for us. Just needs 16, and it's not just the hit rate here as well. We can see that the fantasy score on the odds is projected on the over. I forgot that DG Fantasy doesn't show pitching outs just yet, but good to see the fantasy scores on the over. That means they're probably you get fantasy points for winnings, like quality starts, pitch strikeouts, all these different types of things. So good to see that that's on the over. But we can see on the RotoWire projection model, outs is the same as pitching outs, and they're projecting 15.98, so right around 16, which is what he did in their first matchup last year. So Pablo Lopez looking really good in terms of hit rate, and loving the matchup against Kansas City. So that's going to do it for this video. I can only put 4 plays in because I'm in an arena state, so I can't do flex plays. I can't do 5 or 6 mans. The max entries I can do is 4 mans. But the other play was Kristaps Porzingis for the NBA over 18.5 points and assists. I played that in a different slip just because, again, I can't put it into a 5-man flex, just not in my state. But we got Pablo Lopez over 15.5 pitching outs, Yordan Alvarez over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Miles Michaelis over 5.5 hits allowed, and then Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 total bases. These 2 guys definitely correlate, but in a 4-man, it doesn't look like it shifts our payout at all. If we went ahead and took away Yordan and the other guy, we get right here, and it's a little bit of shift, 20 for $55. So again, you can kind of see the correlation here, but if we put it into that 4-man or a 5-man play, whatever it might be, it doesn't look like we're taking a hit. But those are our 5 plays today. Excited for MLB to be back. Again, I'm much more knowledgeable in the NBA, but I definitely know my stuff in the MLB. I'm going to be learning throughout the season, but I might be botching names and kind of bumbling through videos. unlike in the NBA where I really do know everything. The NBA is kind of my bread and butter, but definitely excited to learn. Watch a lot of baseball this year. If you don't know, I started the channel back in October, I believe, and we were doing baseball videos to start this thing. So kind of full circle, excited to have it back, and hopefully ready to kill it. But last but not least, again, check out the Discord if you're interested in this kind of content. You'd be interested in the community we're growing over in the Discord. It's $20 a month. People are always talking sports, talking props, and all these different things. You can also get in here for free using any of my codes to PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Dabble, or DG Fantasy. If you use 2 codes, that'll get you 2 months. If you use all 6 codes, that'll get you up to 6 months free. And again, if you're only on one DFS platform or maybe you're on none, I highly recommend branching out, trying them. Again, you can take advantage of the promos. Underdog is throwing discounts at us. Chalkboard, Sleeper. I'm sure a lot of them will have MLB promos for today because it's the start of the season. I know Sleeper has one. And then on top of that, you get 100% deposit matches up to $100 on these 3, and then $500 on Sleeper. So yeah, check us out. This is the community. But yeah, excited to have MLB back. Only 2 NBA games. So went light in NBA, but I'll definitely be attacking the board later on. Looking at more MLB lines and some NBA lines if they're dropping dunk lines or fantasy scores that I'm liking. So I'll see you guys in the Discord, or if you're not in there, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.